how to increase your lead quality, how to get your past clients to refer you more, why some agents understand and leverage video to get people to know, like, and trust them, and the things you can do in order to leverage video to grow your business. That's today's topic. Let's get rocking. Welcome to the Rainmaker Podcast, where we help business-minded real estate agents stop chasing leads and help them start attracting business. We don't claim to make winners here. We do claim that we help winners win bigger and faster. Building your business is building your database, one that works harder for you than you do for it. So if you want to get off the transaction treadmill, keep on listening. If you want the shortcut to dominating your market, then go to www.marketmakersystems.com/demo. Just came back from a great event out in Las Vegas last night. Had some crazy stuff happen last night. But anyway, just feel like I'm ready to rock and roll today.
Well, what happens in Vegas? I know what happened with you didn't have anything to do with Vegas, but
yeah, no,
right.
Mine was Vegas was the easy part. But yeah, I love today's topic. One is most importantly because I feel like I've been personally using video for such a long time. Most people, I think, are intimidated by video, and man, I just think it's probably one of the best kept secrets and easiest ways to build a business, especially now and into the future.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. And I personally, the first time I started doing video was really through Facebook Lives, and I was nervous, not gonna lie, but now it's just like I'm talking to a friend. No big deal. And it didn't take long for that to occur. Just a couple of takes, 2 or 3 times of doing it. Now it's just innate. It's no problem at all. And I think it's a powerful medium. I think it's one of the most powerful, probably the most powerful. And I think that it's something that's very underutilized in the real estate industry. And I'm really excited to kind of unpack this today, especially since we spent the morning talking a lot about it, amongst the three of us.
And what's really fascinating to me is just how underutilized it really is, and how much people consume video every single day and don't think like I should definitely be doing this. And I think a lot of it comes from what you guys touched on, which is, that timid, or that like something built into our human brain that says, maybe I should think about this because people are going to judge me, or I don't know if I look good enough for a camera or whatever it may be. And just instead of doing it, right? The hardest part is just starting. But then, like you said, Oddo, the key is just doing it, and you get the first couple under your belt, and then it's just second nature, and you can get on camera and you can get it out. But think about how many people every single day are consuming hours and hours and hours of video every day, that you're just missing out a slot of getting in front of people and getting them to know, like, and trust you a lot faster than you can do via email or other forms of communication that you're doing without any problems.
Yeah, so at the core, videos just simply, if I'm taking over a market, you just got to understand, and this is just the way that I like to talk about really any topic. It's the principles, right? Video is it's at the fundamental core. It's consumption. I don't know if y'all know, but Netflix stock was like up 20 points yesterday, and it was up another 10 points today. And they recently just surpassed Disney. From a valuation from a media company. If you think about it, Netflix is their entire game that they're playing, no pun intended, because their big upswing has been in an announcement that they're now going to be launching gaming on their platform. But the interesting thing about Netflix is they really did run into a problem, and they had to switch up their content and really make customized content for people to consume. And it was through that customized content that they were able to keep people on the platform. And so the reason I say that is because our websites are similar. People come to our websites, and if they don't ever change, if there's never any new content, there's no reason to come back. Right now, on the buy side, we give people new properties, but one of the missed opportunities that I think about all of the time is videos. And how do you get, here's the problem. First of all, the problem is that nobody knows how to what videos to create, how to create them, and they don't know what videos to create, how to create them, and they don't know there's a little bit of a technical kind of barrier to video. But I think most importantly, it's what to talk about. So the other day, I was at my house last Friday, and I was gonna do something. I went to Costco, and I was putting stuff away for my wife. And when I did, I opened my refrigerator in my pantry, and it had I had taken popsicles out of the freezer, and one of the popsicles and I put them in the refrigerator, which I don't know why I did that, but regardless, one of them leaked.
You were probably on the phone.
Yeah. It was a mistake. I think that I couldn't fit them into the freezer, so I put them in the refrigerator, thinking just for a second. And long story short, they melted and got into the crevice. Well, I couldn't get the drawer out of the refrigerator. I mean, dude, I pulled the drawers out. The way that this refrigerator is in my house, it's kind of by the exit door, and the door doesn't open all the way, blah, blah, blah. But so I'm trying to get the bottom drawer, not the shelves, but the very, very bottom drawer that's like this air conditioned drawer that, you put fruits and vegetables in, and it's temperature controlled. So it's like wires and lights and stuff into this like bottom shelf. And I saw it, I started messing with it, and I was like, am I never going to clean this right, or am I going to clean this? I was like, I'm going to clean this. Let me see if I can get it out. Long story short, man, this thing was not intuitive. And I literally looked in the inside of the door, got the model number, went to YouTube, and put how to get the bottom drawer out. And there was like 16 videos. I mean, and that's the point. People don't realize that YouTube is the how-to place. That's where people go. And so, being in professional services, there's so much content that you can produce for both a buyer and a seller if whether it's how to pick a school, just tons of content as a professional, as a real estate professional in your marketplace, that people would look to you on how to make decisions, choices, whether it was regarding buying or selling the home. And what I think the key is that, this video was like 3 minutes long. And the cool thing about video, especially like if you can get them on the right platform, because like a YouTube, not only can you take a YouTube video and put it on your blog and then keyword the video and meta tag out the video so that you could do like, how to put an offer on a home in a multiple, how to write a winning offer in a multiple offer situation. That's a how-to video, right? And like that video can be transcribed, that video can be put on a blog, that video can be on the blog with the words in the text. And in theory, if I didn't have a video, there's a tool out there, and I'll just tell you what it is because I was looking at it yesterday. There's tools out there that you could take literally blog posts and it'll turn them into a video. So like you could literally talk a market update into a microphone, transcribe it, briefly edit it for, and then you could go in and talk into a microphone and turn that video. It's called Lumen, LUMEN 5.com. And it takes any text and turns them into videos. But the point is, then you can take that video and you can email it to your clients, your past clients. You can take that video and put it on Facebook's video platform. There's just so much things. So the question is like, well, like, why don't people do it? And I think the real answer to that is because, let me ask you a question. It's Jim Rohn 101. You can eat a Snickers bar every day for a year, or you can eat an apple every day for a year. Right? Like,
both sound delicious.
The point is that like the compound effect of them, one's going to probably be better for you. And so, everything that I've said so far could be transcribed and turned into a video and put on a channel with me never shooting a video, or it can be my audio over all different, like a voiceover. There's all different ways on leveraging video. The question is, is in your business, are you doing, I mean, you can be doing videos of homes you sold, past clients' homes you sold. It's content. And when you put that content out there and people are online, they see it. And, a buddy of mine, he's done over 1,200 videos on YouTube, and he's done, I forget what the number was, but like some thousand blog posts, but he generates a couple thousand inbound leads per month. And that's the point, is that when you go out there and you take a video on YouTube, you can take a video and you can create a playlist. So you could literally do you could do a video on the home buying process, on where to search, how to schedule appointments, how to pick an agent, and people will watch that video and they'll scroll to the next one and the next one and the next one. The cool thing about what I like, and this is just, my own cup of tea, is I like putting the video on the landing page and then being able to send it to my database and know who clicked on it, who made it to that page, so that I could implement more of a scoring of process when it comes to knowing which clients are most likely, going to be selling, buying, stuff like that.
Yeah, we built something like that. I don't know if you want me to get into it on here, but the scoring part, and it's about to be rolled out, and it'll measure that consumption, and then create scores based on historic data. So when you close out a deal, it'll look at all those things that happened prior to, and start to generate basically the consistent things that happen on a regular basis to help score the dang lead. I think even just an update on what's happening in the real estate markets that you serve. And I don't think these videos need to be long. I think 3 to 5 minutes is pretty strong. If you're just saying, if for example, a neighborhood, how many houses sold, how many houses are left, what's the absorption rate, how many houses are new on the market, just a real quick brief update, or even on a larger scale, just showing people what and making sure that you get it out to your subscribers, your what you call leads. And I think segmenting it is important as well. If you're going to give information about listing your home, send it out to the sellers. If you're going to give information about buying a home, send it out to the buyers. If you're going to give general information, send it out to all of them.
And think about I just was reading a stat recently. It was by Forrester Research. And they said, and I'm gonna ask you, I haven't put you guys on the spot here to guess this, but a minute worth of video consumption is worth how many words in text form? Would you guess?
Well, a picture's worth 1,000, so right? A video's got to be worth 10,000. I don't know.
What do you think, Reese?
I'm gonna say 640.
1.8 million.
Wow, that's powerful. That's
Isn't that
staggering.
Crazy? Yeah. But if you think about it, right? Like all your senses are you're listening. A lot of videos have text on them too, so you might be reading, listening, and seeing something at the same time, judging the person, whatever it may be. But when I saw that, I was like, that it didn't seem right. But I mean, the company seemed legit, the research company. So if you think about that, like the amount of emails or the amount of web pages that someone would have to consume, that would get the same effect essentially in a minute worth of video is insane. But how much more likely are you to know, like, and trust someone after seemingly spending some time with it, like through FaceTime or Skype or whatever it may be? There's more and more in 2018 now. There's more and more interaction with real live people that's done via video. So whether it be a Facebook Live or just a video that you're putting out there that seems like it's somebody just talking to you, there's just a lot more knowing and liking and trusting that can happen in that short amount of time, even if it's the minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute videos that can have a massive impact in feeling like they know you just because they've seen something. Like I saw an agent yesterday, actually. They have a Facebook group here in the McKinney, the town of McKinney, And all he did was for the first, I mean, it was probably a 3-minute video. But he just read off stats, current stats, how many homes are on the market, how many are currently pending. It was like 31% of McKinney homes are pending currently. And he was just giving an update. And then there was like a soft call to action. I'm not going to spam you, but check out this for, a market update that'll go out to you automatically if you want to have this kind of stats in your fingertips. But it was just in a Facebook group that agent is building up currently in a town around here. But it's going to lead to more consumption and people knowing and liking and trusting him.
Well, here's the bottom line. I mean, the bottom line is that I fundamentally believe the problem with video is that agents are confused, and I don't know that they're confused. They don't know where to start. They don't know when to start. They don't know how to do it, and that's the problem. Like, someone could listen to this podcast and say, I want to know video, but until they know what topics to pick, right? They know how to shoot them, where to post them. And so I think it's important, this is just me. One of the things that I've come up with is, and Oddo, I would say, no, the goal would not be to share with them what you built. But I think we can share with them what you built. I wouldn't want to share it because that's not the point of today's podcast. But I do think that you built something pretty cool. But I don't think it's the fact that you built it. It's more the story behind why we built it. And so a lot of our best clients, and people don't know this, but I would say that some of our top clients they don't like calling leads. And so that's just the bottom line truth. And they don't mind working with leads, but they don't like they don't have a desire to call them. And so what I've seen work is like literally starting with, if I was going to start using video in my business, I would start with 2 videos a month, right? I would send out 2 videos a month. In theory, they don't have to be but a couple minutes, and I would just start producing them, and I'd be posting them on a blog. And what I would do, if it were me, is I would lay out the content of those videos to be a sequence that was emailed to certain new types of leads. So an example, let's say that let's say that I said, how to buy your dream home and not and avoid unnecessary expenses, right? And this could be an 8-week mini course. If you're buying a home in the next 90 days, here's an 8-week mini course on everything you need to know. And I would send them, I'd send them a handful of videos, for what are all the things that you can do, whether it's buyer or seller. Now, originally, those videos might just look like they're on my YouTube channel or look like they're on my blog, but I'd be strategically producing this content. So in the future, at some point down the road, when a new person comes onto my list or into my database, they would be getting those videos, meaning that video would have a lifetime value, like an asset. It'd have an asset value. So that's the point is that where I think if I was adding value to somebody, I would say, tell me about, tell me about if and this goes back, and I know that we're working on this in our book, but let's talk about an out of town buyer, and then let's talk about a seller. Then let's talk about a seller who's local area mover but has to buy first. What are all the problems they have to overcome? What are their challenges? What are their obstacles? And those I would brainstorm, and then by persona, by client type, I would find the one that I'm doing, the one that I feel like is either in line with the vision of my business or is in alignment with the natural strengths of mine. So if I'm really good with buyers, I would start there. If my vision is to move over to sellers, then I might contemplate starting there. But if I'm generating a bunch of buyer leads, I'd probably start with the buy side just so that I could help be more efficient. And so on the buy side, imagine a video that says, every local area mover, the 3 critical decisions you have to consider when selling your home to buy your dream home in Frisco, right? Like, you send that video out to your database, and you send it like where when they click on it, it lands on your website, and you're like, man, look, I got 19 leads that watched the video. But the cool thing is that what you might have in that video, you might have to say, listen, in order to maximize your home's purchase, you have to first maximize the sell. And to maximize the sell, you have to understand the principle of price of elasticity, which states that there's no fixed price for homes. In fact, in any neighborhood in America, there can be a same home, same builder that can sell up for up to 18% more. And the reason why is one home might be, taken care of. One home might smell like cat urine. One home might back up to a major street. You never know. So pricing your home right is the biggest thing to help you have the most money to put down on your next home, which could impact your interest rate and the equity that you create over time, which is the time value of money in your new property. So if you would like for me to do a home evaluation audit on your property, you can check our online consultation, which will give you a good range of what your home should sell for. And if you would like to know exactly what you would walk away with, you can instantly message me here. Just send over your address and I would do a net sheet for you. Now, all that can be inside of the video, all of that could be inside of the copy, but knowing like I only know that I would say that because I know the person I'm talking to. And so you want to get into the point where you come up with a strategy. And the cool thing about it is it's really not hard. All you have to do is think about the problems that face your client. And if you don't know them, then start listening. Start listening to people. Or I mean, you could take a survey right now and say, what is the biggest what's the number one thing holding you back from buying your next home?
I like it. And I also want to mention this, Mike, because this was a big area of confusion for me. Are you talking to an individual or are you talking to a mass audience? And that shut my brain down in a big way. And you really helped me with that because you went into the only one principle. And I think, if you think about this as an agent, you have all the information. And as you're walking a client through these things, you're able to very clearly articulate the value in whatever their challenges that they're trying to do. And so I would say just scale it down. Pretend like you're talking to one person who's a seller, one person who's a buyer, and I think it'll help tremendously. I know it has for me. The only one principle, just helping one person through the process, and in doing so, you're going to hit that mass audience of all those people that you're trying to communicate to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
1,000%. And I think it goes back to where to start and just understanding talking to one person. I think I've said it previously is you've got to be able to understand there's questions that every single one of the buyers that you've ever worked with, they ask every single time. You could probably, without even thinking too much, write down 10 questions that pretty much every buyer you've ever worked with has asked. Probably equally on the sell side, 10 questions sellers have asked. And so the more common those come up, I mean, people that didn't ask them probably wanted to ask, but then didn't ask because they either felt it was a silly question or whatever it may be. But that's all just the blueprint for really, really good content that people are probably even searching for, that you can get, the leads that are very fun to get because, Reese, you were talking about it, getting a couple thousand inbound leads a month. How much did that cost him? Whatever the time investment was to do those videos, that's all it cost him because he owns the space online. For people when they're searching it, which are not just interruption marketing for the most part. Those are going to be completely intent marketing, which is people actually searching for those things and then finding you, which is just going to give you a much higher quality as well.
Absolutely. And listen, if it were me, all you got to do is go to Google. And if you know the questions that your clients are asking, go Google it. There's free things out there that you can go find the top blog post around topics. And, if you can go find out what the top blog posts that people are reading, You can go to Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Remax. Any content that the market is putting out there for the customer, you can go find out which ones have the most comments, which ones are the most liked. You can go see topics around books that have been written, chapters, sub-chapters for those books. You can go to YouTube and type in, selling my home, and you could see all the different things that people are putting out there, and those will give you some ideas. And your goal is to find the ones that are going to be most aligned. And then once you do those ideas, I know that I could help anybody with video, and the only difference in them being successful with video is their own thinking. Meaning, I can ask you a question, Jake. You ready?
Yep.
Where were you on September 11th?
I was driving to high school because I had late arrival my senior year of high school.
What kind of car were you in?
I was in a Chevy Impala.
What street were you on?
Butterfield Road.
Where were you leaving from?
My house, my parents' house in Warrenville, Illinois.
And how long had you been into your drive?
Probably about 8 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that.
Right. And so, like, what I'm saying is that those details are important when you're telling a story, right? And so, we, as real estate agents, we have stories. We have stories of helping clients overcoming challenges. And you have to get into the point of when something happens in your life that would be helpful from someone else, like, let's just say a closing falls apart and funding doesn't come. That is a video, right? Or somebody doesn't get approved for a home, and then and because they do something, or there's good and there's bad. There's things that are happening every day in real estate, and you just have to learn how to just like really extract the lessons and teach those in a way where other people can learn from them, and tell those stories in a way where you come across as entertaining but also informative, and then people start tuning into what you're saying. And if you can get people to tune into, let me ask you a question, Jake. When you bought your first house, what was the biggest frustration? Did you close on time?
I did on the first house. On the second house, that's actually what I was thinking about. Was an amazing story. Was my lender Chuck, like if he was able to communicate the story that I had, so we were selling our house, buying another one, and there was like 4 houses that were all contingent on this domino effect deal, and our buyers fell through the day of closing. So we had our whole house packed up in the garage and on a 26-foot moving van, and had to live there for an extra 2 weeks, which it was only 2 weeks because Chuck took over the file from that person's lender and got them able to close in 2 weeks, which is crazy impressive, which allowed 4 houses to close 2 weeks later, which it was only delayed 2 weeks, but it was very frustrating because I didn't know. We were almost leaving to go to the title company when we found out that their financing fell through.
So the point is that there is a lesson there, and that was just if you can learn how to tell stories, extract the lessons, and put them on video on how to avoid, how to overcome the 6 steps, and you can put those in. I'm telling you, it's and here's where the most important, and then you can send those to an audience of past clients, an audience of unconverted leads, and you can have calls to action. It is such a better way because there's so many people right now that are they're not ready to do business today, but they are going to be in the future. But they'll watch your video today, they'll watch your video next week, and anyway, it's the compound effect of all that that's just impossible to quantify.
Love it.
Well, man, that's all I got. What do y'all got? What else y'all want to chat about on video? I'm sure a lot of people, I think what we need to do is next week we need to tell them about lead scoring because, Oddo, you kind of teased it a minute ago. I think one of the great things that you built for some of our clients was the ability to score and know how to leverage the consumption of that content and know where to invest your time or your energy. And I think lead scoring is definitely probably something we need to probably chat about next week.
Yeah, I'd definitely love to. And when you're making these things, I don't know how if either of you got a Google Plus account, but the joke was it was kind of like an echo chamber, right? And so if you're making good quality videos, you're making good content, you want to know who's watching them. You want to know if they're watching them, and you just want to measure that. And so, yeah, we can definitely rap about that next week.
Awesome.
Yes, and video will probably be weighted a little bit different than opening an email.
Yes, sir.